Shout out to the new party, man. We're gonna keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Gray Mars.
I'm Enzo.
I'm Kamal.
I'm Kim.
I'm Mia. Sorry.
And tonight on the new party, we are going to be talking about Project 2025. In that first clip that you saw, that was a throwback clip. It's almost a year to the day, Gray, when we talked about Project 2025. That was one of our first, I think, videos that we did really well on. Now that we're a year in, before we talk about the first topic, what do you think about where we're at in the country right now, a year later, when we've covered it?
I was right all along. I basically said that Project 2025 was real. You know, people said it wasn't real. Now we're seeing them enact all the things for Project 2025. So I guess until we see all of it enacted, will we hear people actually say that it was real?
Well, in the chat, guys, we are going to be doing a poll tonight. Last night, we did a poll for everyone watching. The poll results, the question last night was, who voted for Trump? It was literally a 50-50 split. So half of our audience are Trump supporters, half are not. So that's a nice balance that we got here. So we're very representative of America. But tonight, the poll is Project 2025 real? Make sure y'all hit the like button. But before we get into that, we're going to drag the Democrats, man. We're going to have to drag the Democrats first, okay? We're going to have a balance. Karine Jean-Pierre, who was President Biden's press secretary, is now going on a tour. And oh my God, that's all I got to say. We're going to get into it. So this first clip, this is her. I don't even know how to describe the denial, like where she's at. Here we go.
That's number one. My job was to speak to what the decision he made in the sense of continuing, trying to lift up the policies and the legislative wins that we did have. We did have legislative wins.
Sure,
and
but he didn't talk about them that well, though. He couldn't talk about them. He wasn't campaigning.
No. Wait. First of all, he did talk about them. Whether it broke through or not, he did. Tim, he did talk about.
I mean, he talked way less to the press than Donald Trump does. Way less. And he wasn't out there at all. He wasn't good off the cuff. He wasn't doing press conferences. Let's just be real. He didn't do paid events.
Tim, that's not true. Tim, you're conflating all of it. That's what you're doing. No, you're telling me he didn't talk well about it. Then you're telling me he didn't talk at all.
He didn't do either. He didn't talk very often, and when he did, it wasn't very good. He sounded very old.
Maybe you weren't paying attention to what we were doing at the White House. But
I paid attention. I'm with you on the policies. I'm talking about his performance.
The president spoke to the American people a couple times a week. He traveled and did domestic travel and talked directly to the American people. We are talking about a time politically that is incredibly partisan. It is hard. It's hard to break through any messaging. And it was an incumbency as well.
So based on that answer, Enzo, I'm going to let you go first. What do you think about what she said? I mean, it just gets worse. The denial about how bad he was. We're going to play that clip next. But what do you think about it? Do you think she really spent time with him? Or is she deflecting? Mind you, she's no longer a Democrat. So keep all that in mind, and we'll play that too later.
It was just on a podcast or a news or whatever it was a couple months ago. Literally, she said verbatim, there were weeks at a time where I did not have any contact with the president. Verbatim. So for you to flip-flop over here now and say, well, we did speak to the president. He was aware that what was going on. He was talking about all this and all that. You literally lied through your teeth for a year and a half as the press secretary. I mean, at least Jen Psaki was a little more honest about the entire Biden administration. She's just I don't understand what's the point of still continuing to sit here and lie. Or brain dead Papa Jojo, who I think is a clone at this point. I don't even think he's a real person. A robot.
Kimberly, I'm correct in saying that you're not Democrat, Republic. You're in what party do you align yourself with?
I don't align myself with either party. I am so sorry, but I didn't hear anything Gray or Enzo said. I don't know if it's my computer.
Do you hear me?
I can hear you only.
Maybe
about
get
now?
out and come back in.
Okay. Sorry, I'll be right back.
Or also, are you on Google Chrome? Because if you're not, that would be the problem.
I am. I'll get out and get back in.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
I'll have you answer the next question. All right, great. Great. Kamal, you're apolitical. Tell me your thoughts on all of this. Why is she flip-flopping so much now?
This shit comical. I don't know what's more comical, this or Andre Williams getting his ass whooped. I'm just saying, like, Jan, she a tether, man. Tethers be lying, man. You feel me? And it's kind of crazy to me. They all trying to do book deals now. Her, Joy Reid, what they about to do a book club and a wig club. I'm just tired of these motherfuckers, man, on the bullshit.
Not a book club, but a wig
Straight
club.
bullshit. You feel me? Like,
Not the wigs.
Not for real.
Why you gotta come for the wigs, though? Why you gotta come for the wigs?
The wigs came from me. You saw how atrocious that shit was? God damn.
That shit looked terrible. I ain't gonna lie.
Had his own phone number, own apartment and shit, paid mortgage. I'm like, damn. But this is the thing, though. Like, this is why I tell my Black Americans, don't feel bad if you vote Democrat one day and vote Republican the next. These motherfuckers flip flop every other day. You saw she a Democratic 1 minute, the next minute. Now I'm independent. I lean a little bit more conservative now. Horse shit. You're not getting your butter biscuits like you used to getting. And look, man, it's like, look, I don't know, man. This what I hate to say. This what hoes do. Corinne Stephan wrote a book. Think about it. This is a whole move. When you go and be like, I'm going to write a tell-all book about what I was doing with people I shouldn't be telling the whole world about. That's just a whole move. You feel me? So that's just how I feel about it. You feel me? And at the end of the day, we know that tethers, they stay lying and they stay being on the bullshit. So, hey, what can I say?
Oh, Lord. Well, it only gets worse from here. Let's watch this clip on when she denies seeing any decline in Joe Biden.
Because I too thought that. And you said, people said, why didn't members of his inner circle speak up about what many believe was the apparent decline of Joe Biden? You said, you're a member of the inner circle and you never saw the decline. And after that, I wrote, how? Yeah. You even write, Karine, that you were on the plane with him going to the debate and you didn't see anything.
Well, when we were on Air Force One going to the debate, you got to remember his campaign people were on the team, his family was on the team. I actually was one of those rare trips that I didn't really see him until after the debate, even though I was on the plane. So really, I want everybody to know that I take this question incredibly seriously. I do. I was his White House press secretary, which means I had a role that saw him practically every day and traveled with him.
And you saw nothing.
For more than 95%. We've always said, we're not going to say, oh, he didn't age. He aged. And he poked fun at it. We always owned up. And with age comes what happens when you get older.
Which is?
But when we talk about the mental acuity, and again, I take this very, very seriously. I never saw anyone who wasn't there. I saw someone who was always engaged. I saw someone who understood policy, pushed us on the policy, and also understood history. And there were times, I'll tell you the story, there were times where he would call me into the Oval Office, and I would be like, oh no, because I knew whatever he was going to ask me was going to be direct, was going to be about a story he read, about how we're pushing back, how we're pushing a message forward.
And you write about the people within the party pushing him out. Some would describe those people fighting for a replacement candidate is fighting. But you also describe this current state of the Democratic Party as too timid. And what can the Democratic Party do to get out of this timid and even some will say disappointing place?
So timid that you've gotten out of the Democratic Party.
Here's the thing. I actually think that the system is broken. The two-party system is broken, and we need it to be fixed, to be working in order for a democracy. Look, just this past Saturday, millions of people, 7 million people.
And we say bye-bye, and we say bye-bye, and we say...
I love it.
Okay. So, like, I don't even know. She probably was scared because she didn't know what the fuck was going to come out of his mouth. Mia, what do you think about that clip? And also, I want to set this up, Mia. This is a two-part question. Are you prepared to vote for Donald Trump for a third time and possibly see a Biden 2.0? Because he will be 80 plus years old and people are saying they're willing to vote for him. You can answer now.
Absolutely not. I think a lot of these politicians are just too old, and it shows in their policies. Most of them are boomers, and it shows. I mean, I can't believe she stood on 10 toes and was trying to skirt, was like, yeah, he's aging. And they're like, and she just skirted around the fact that he had dementia or has dementia. And he had cancer or currently has cancer. I read somewhere that he was currently seeking treatment. Like, how do you skirt around that? Like, we all saw the headlines. We all saw this man. We see Mitch McConnell. Why are we dealing with all of these old motherfuckers? I don't get it. There's like 375 million people in this country, if not more. And this is what we have? A bunch of old, raggedy people? That's it? This is like, I mean, I live in an area that produced John F. Kennedy. I can't believe this is what we're come to.
Yeah, and I take back my stance. I'll vote for JD Vance over Trump again. I'm sorry. I don't want Biden 2.0. Kimberly, what do you think? What's your thoughts? I was asking you, what party do you align yourself with, if any? Because I know you're not Democrat and I know you're not Republican.
Right. I'm mostly on the left ideologically, but I don't associate with the Democrats because they're not ideologically on the left. The Democrats are clowns, and they're also losers. They like to lose. That's why they put somebody up like a Kamala Harris, and that's why they put somebody up like a Joe Biden. And I come from California. We produce some of the worst Democrats. Feinstein, that was crazy. Newsom, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, the worst of the worst. If the Democrats were serious, if they really believed in what they espoused, they believe in, then they would pass bills, legislations, or anything that reflected that, but they don't. They're sold out to the highest bidder. And I saw some of the clips from from her, Karine Jean-Pierre, and also Kamala Harris. And well, I think both parties are culty, but the liberals are especially culty because the liberal fan base are in complete denial. It's hard to take Democrat voters at this point. I always say vote third party. I'm from California, so my third party vote doesn't really make a difference. But third parties really only need 5% of the vote to get federal matching funds for the next election fund. That's the goal, 5%. Vote third party every time. Vote Libertarian, vote Green, vote whatever it is. Just don't vote for the Democrats and stop voting for the Republicans too.
Damn. This last clip, Gray, is for you. This is Karine Jean-Pierre and what she had to say about being independent.
You, other people identifying as an independent, solve the problem that you have identified.
Right. Look, for me, I'm not telling people, hey, you go become an independent. That's not my role. I am, again, focusing on the two-party system, how it's not working. There's something I think there is something broken, and people would say to me, it's been broken for a while, but right now in this moment that we're in, and with the devastation that we have seen in the last 10 months, we really have to have this conversation about this system.
So Gray, she said the system's broken. She just ain't effing with the Democrats no more. I don't know what else to say. You are a lifelong Democrat. Listening to what everyone had to say, why are you still a Democrat? And what's your thoughts on her leaving the party?
Well, first I'll speak on her specifically. Her specifically, independent is just another name for Democrat. Bernie Sanders is an independent. He basically a Democrat. The Democrats aren't perfect. What happened with Joe Biden was horrible. Like, I had to talk about it when he did that on the debate stage. And of course, it was embarrassing. So I was just like, so they should have done something way better than that. The reason that I stay a Democrat is I feel like the Democrats' intentions are good. Whether they're accomplishing it or not, I feel like they're well-intentioned. And with the Democrats, I think they're held at a higher standard, because you can't be calling people uneducated or you don't know what you're talking about and then not deliver on the things that you're talking about. So I think they've overpromised and underdelivered.
Damn, the intentions are good, Gray said. Man, I gotta have Gray's spirit and mentality. Democrats, where's that $10,000 check? We've been asking for it for a year now. We need that check. It was, I don't know if y'all remember, they was giving out checks last year. And I said, Gray needs his check because Gray took a beating. I'm going to tell you from now. He took a beating. But anyways, we're going to switch gears here. Is war happening with Venezuela? So